3.1. A 30-kilogram child is being pulled in a sled by a person holding a rope that has an angle of 20 degrees with the horizontal. The total force being used to move the sled forward is 110 newtons. What are the horizontal and vertical components of the pulling force? What is the child's weight? The best thing to do with this example would be to draw a picture. We know that we have a child being pulled at a 110 newton force at 20 degrees to the horizontal. We'll complete this triangle by making a 90-degree angle. We want to find the horizontal component and the vertical component. The easiest way to do this is to use sine, cosine, and tangent, and I like to use the little cheat SOHCAHTOA to keep them straight. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. The way sine, cosine, or tangent works is that you do sine of an angle equals opposite over hypotenuse, or whatever the fraction is. So first we will find x. X is adjacent to the angle that we know, and we know the hypotenuse. So we need a fraction that has adjacent and hypotenuse in it. This would be cosine. So we'll write it out as cosine 20 degrees equals adjacent, which is x, what we're trying to find, over the hypotenuse, which is 110 newtons. This will be punched into a calculator, and you find that x equals 103.4 newtons. Now, there are two ways to find y. Because we now know x, we could use Pythagorean theorem, which is x squared plus y squared equals c squared, or the hypotenuse, which would be 110. Or we could do the sine of y. Because we know the angle, we're trying to find the opposite, and we know the hypotenuse, which would give us sine. I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. So Pythagorean theorem states a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We'll make x a, so now we know that that's 103.4 newtons squared, plus y is our b, y squared equals 110 newtons squared. So after punching that in the calculator, we find y equals 37.5 newtons. And this is the horizontal vector. The second part of the question asks for the child's weight. Now we know that weight equals mass times g. We're given her mass, which is 30 kilograms, times, and we know g is 9.81 meters per second squared. We find that the weight is 294.3 newtons. This is example 3.1.